Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be talking about my nursing career and the reason why I quit nursing 3 years ago. If you're new here and you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the post notification bell so whenever I post, you will be notified. So let's get started. I have been working in the healthcare industry for 11 years. And in 2021, I quit my job and I did a whole career change. So I'm just going to talk about my background and how I got into nursing. I've always wanted to be a nurse ever since I was a little girl growing up in Jamaica. And I moved to Canada when I was in grade 9. So when I moved to Canada, I started working towards a career in nursing. So basically, I would take all the science courses in high school. Even I did co-op in high school where I did a hospital placement and I was placed in the x-ray department where I was a technical assistant assisting the x-ray techs with their day-to-day activities and stuff like that. So when I graduated from high school, I started studying to be a nurse. Here in Canada, there are different types of nursing. You can go to college for 2 years to be a registered practical nurse, or you can go straight into university, study for 4 years to be an RN. I did mine half and half because, of course, there you have to take into consideration your financial situation because what works for another person might not work for me. I didn't have any money saved up for tuition, so I decided to take the college route. So I went to college. I went to Humber College and I graduated from Humber and I immediately started working. I jumped into it very early. Nursing has always been a passion of mine, even though like it's a career, I enjoyed it. I would say the reason why I quit my nursing job after 11 years is because I was burnt out. The work-life balance, I didn't really like the work-life balance at, working in healthcare. So basically, there are times where I would not see my daughter. I would be working for 18 hours straight, no break. Also, it was affecting my mental health and just my entire body on a whole. Like I was always having back pain, leg pain. I was always dizzy because I have severe anemia. So I would go for hours without eating. Sometimes I would actually go the whole day not realizing that I didn't take a break. And also, I started complaining about work. Work was no longer enjoyable for me. It's just like something I dreaded doing. Like I hated going to work. It was even affecting my personal relationship with, you know, I'm always complaining about work, 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 work. So I remember like not even getting, it's your day off, you're not getting time off to rest, and like my workplace and my work environment was very toxic because if I don't accept shifts on my day off, I realized that the managers would take away my hours just to spite me. So next time when they asked me for hours, then I would take it. So basically, and also I was working in I did palliative nursing for years. That's not something I chose for myself, but my manager kind of just pushed me into it because she realized I was good at it. And the reason why I'm really good at motivating and working with palliative patient is because I also studied social work. So I know what to say to encourage and motivate my patients while I was working. So for example, like one day, how I got into palliative nursing was somebody was off and they asked me to cover that shift, so I did. And all the patient there, they liked me. They requested for me to come back, and so my manager kind of just was like, that's gonna be your new assignment from now on. So I kind of didn't have a say, and that's another reason why I left nursing. Just that I felt like they bully you around, and I didn't like that about my job. Even though I was good at it and that's something I love, it was mentally unstable. Like it was a stressor for me. Also, I would not see my get to spend time with my daughter. Like I was always working weekends and holidays and long hours. And senior nurses don't retire. So new nurses that starts into the field. I know it's been 11 years and I haven't had a full-time job in nursing. Can you believe that? 11 years and I did not work one full-time job. Like I remember I was working 4 jobs at once, 4 jobs, to the point where I was burnt out. I'm working every weekends, every holidays. Like I was casual at one organization and another one I was part-time. Like I literally had 2 casual position and a part-time. And I was stuck working with no benefits under poor working condition. They're always short staffed. They always give us students to work with on top of being short staffed. Like I really don't understand. Um, and also like for me, one thing I do not tolerate is abuse. And I find that most of in the area that I work in, most of the patients were very abusive physically as well. I remember getting, I know I didn't take it personally. No way did I do that. I understand it comes with the job. But like I was getting, one time I got hit in the head with a chair. And when I reported it to my manager said, so are you going to continue to work? Can you come to work tomorrow? And anyways, I did not go to work the next day because I was feeling unwell from that hit to the head. And she literally was upset that I didn't come to work and that I booked off, and she was complaining that she was short staffed. So that's something I didn't like to deal with, like not being able to get a day to myself or a day off without your manager making you feel guilty about it. So I remember I got bitten. Patient bit me. One patient tried to stab me with a needle. A needle. One patient who was HIV positive tried to stab me with a needle. Yeah. Um, or just like people being discriminating against me. I asking me, are you qualified to be here? Are you even old enough to have this job? Like it was crazy. And it's also like during the pandemic, I was burnt out. We weren't getting any time off. I didn't see my daughter for months because of course I didn't want to get her sick. And when COVID hit, they basically made us stay in a hotel and work, just work, work, work. So I was constantly working. Um, and what really hit me the most was when my daughter wrote me a letter basically saying that she misses me and that I could come home from work and stuff. She wanted to see me. I broke down. So I immediately started reevaluating my life. I didn't want to not spend quality time with my daughter due to my job. So I immediately started looking for at home position or any position that was 9 to 5 that would allow me to work within the time that my daughter was at school. So in 2021, I got a job and I am currently doing that job right now. I do love my job. I enjoy doing the job. Although it's it's like I took a pay cut when I left nursing, but for me, it's not all about the money. It's about your mental health and it's about the people that matters the most, like your children. So I don't really, sometimes I do miss it. Like today, I miss it a lot, but I just try to tell myself like, so I am currently in a better mental state. I am no longer complaining about my job. I do have a permanent full-time position for the first time in my life. Can you imagine my first permanent full-time position in my career? I currently work as a social worker and If you want to know how I got into it, I can do a brief video to let you guys know. I initially wanted to be a nurse practitioner. I wanted to open my own clinic, or I wanted to be a travel nurse. I actually got a position to travel, and I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter, so I didn't end up going. So that was also a reason why I left nursing, because I find that because of the restriction and because of the daycare in Ontario, they don't have any daycare that allows you to work 12-hour shifts. And in nursing, that's a requirement for you to work weekends and holidays and 12-hour shifts. So I was having like daycare issues. Like, I'm supposed to be on the floor at 6:45 or 6 o'clock, but daycare doesn't open until 7. And then daycare closed at 6. So it was just not a great situation to be in. So, and for me, I didn't really trust anybody, like leaving my child with anybody just to go to work. So I remember one time I was working at a hospital. I'm not going to say any name because it's a well-known hospital. And my daughter was 12 months, I believe. She was a year old. There was a huge fire at my daughter's daycare. There was a huge fire at my daughter's daycare, and I remember they called me to pick her up, and they basically told me that my daughter was on a field somewhere across from the daycare, and it was winter. It was extremely cold. They advised me that you need to come quickly and get her, because we vacated the building for a bus to load the babies on the bus because it was winter. They weren't able to grab any jackets or blanket or hats or scarf or anything when they vacated to escape from the fire. It was 1:30 when they called me, and I was supposed to finish work at 3. So I asked my manager if I could leave to go pick my child up. And you know what she said to me? She goes, "Well, you're paying for daycare. It's for them to take care of your child. You're not leaving. If you leave, I'm gonna flag you. I'm gonna write you up for patient abandonment." So she told me I could not leave. And of course, yes, I left and I went to go pick up my child, because I don't know who you think you're talking to. Because I left work to go pick up my child when my manager told me not to. And so I got a letter from the fire chief just to state that there was an emergency at the daycare. The daycare had burnt down, and to give to my manager, because here they always want you to provide a note or a sick note or something. So I made sure I did my part. I got a letter from not just anybody, a fire chief. Get back to work now. The next day I went back to work and I give my manager the letter. She fired me immediately. I've never been fired from my job. I've always been a great employee. I'm one of those persons that I don't call out sick. I don't take time off. I just do what I have to do. So she fired me. She fired me from that position. And I said to myself, you know what? Why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? I can't even get an hour and 30 minutes off in an emergency situation to go pick up my child from daycare. And so I decided to apply for school, and I applied for social work, and I got in. And I decided that I wasn't going to continue in my nursing. I wasn't going to continue with the abuse. I wasn't going to continue with this career. So I went back to school. I no longer decided to do the course that you would take to be a nurse practitioner. I immediately just started studying social work. I graduated in 2018, and I took a placement in Jamaica, actually, at Tarrant High. For those of you who are from Jamaica, I did my placement at Tarrant High in Jamaica. I really loved it. I worked in the guidance department. I got to teach some courses, and I got to do some community work there in Jamaica. I really enjoyed that placement because, as you guys know, I'm Jamaican, and Jamaican is home, so heart. I am more happy. I am no longer complaining about work. I love the work-life balance. I work during the week. I don't work on holidays, I don't work on weekends. So I do have time to spend quality times with my family, and I really enjoy that the most. If you get value from this video, don't forget to like, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know what type of videos you want to see next. And I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a great day or night.